Hello, Kalamula. Hello, Ive. Hello, Flavia. Today is AFIEC, a friend in every corner, Flavia. So the topic is it's half English questions and half just meeting friends, talking to people about the world, about life, about each other. How can you improve your vocabulary to an advanced level? Well, are you at an intermediate level now? First, let me ask you, are you an intermediate level in vocabulary now? What level are you? How many meanings does the word over have? Oh. It depends on whether you are counting it as phrasal verbs or just the simple word over. If you just mean the simple word over, it can mean above, right? Above in place or position somehow. It can be above and to the other side of, right? So like over the mountain, right? So the first meaning can be like the roof over your head. The second meaning can be like, let's go over the mountain. The third meaning could be above you in authority, right? I'm going to go over you means I'm going to talk to somebody who has more power than you do. Another meaning for over is like to cover something. I'm going to put the sheet over the bed, right? The blanket over the bed. Put the blanket over the dog. That's another meaning of over is like covering something. And then another meaning of over is about like a feeling or emotion, like I don't know what came over me. Means I don't know what happened to me, like what made me feel that way suddenly. And let's see. I mean, in my dictionary, I see 21 meanings for over as a preposition and 19 meanings for over as an adverb and 6 meanings for over as an adjective and 3 meanings for over as a noun and 1 meaning for over as an interjection and 9 meanings for over as an idiom. So over has a lot. Over is overly defined. Is there a specific method? Kalamula, you can improve your vocabulary in many, many, many different ways. Okay? But you do need a system. You need a plan. So that's why I asked you, one, where are you now? Like, are you an intermediate level now, or are you a beginner now? What level are you right now? Because you can't get to an advanced level if you haven't gotten to an intermediate level yet. Right? You can't run before you walk. You can't walk before you crawl. Right? Hello, Ahmed. Hello, Surya. Hello, May. You're an intermediate level. Well, so number one, you should be reading a lot of advanced reading. Okay? Read stuff that pushes your ability and learn the vocabulary from what you read. And I mean a lot. So start finding some websites with some good articles or short stories and read a lot. All right? Then you should follow me and pay attention to some of my live streams that deal with vocabulary, because I have some tricks that I can show you if you go to those live streams. Okay? Yeah, there are many, many ways to increase your vocabulary. Okay? What should we read? You should read short stories. You should read articles. You should read books. You should read novels. You should read newspapers. You should read restaurant reviews and movie reviews and TV reviews. You should read history and science. You should read romance and horror. You should read anything you can read. Everything. Reading is critical to learning, especially language. Okay? Which one do I recommend? Do you mean what book do I recommend? I don't have a recommendation for a book for you. I think you should go. There are millions of books out there, and choosing a book is a personal thing. So the book that I like doesn't mean you're going to like it. So you need to find the books that you want to read. Find something that looks interesting and go find it. Come on, it's out there. Reading is amazing. Walking into a library is really, really, really amazing. You're walking into a database in a computer where you can walk around. That's what a library is, right? It's like a database of the internet. It's not an entire complete one, but it's definitely got a lot. And it's really amazing that you can just walk through there and pick out a book that'll tell you everything about that subject. You know? Should you read demanding books or easy books? That's a good question. You should do both, right? So you should have some reading that's not challenging, that allows you to feel like, oh, look, I can read, right? So some reading can be easy, and it can be a way for you to make yourself feel better. Like, look, I can read, right? I can read that. That's easy. Okay? Then there should be some reading that's right in the middle that isn't too hard, but definitely has some new vocabulary, maybe some grammar, things that you could learn, right? A few, not too much, just a little bit. And then you should also try to do some reading that's very challenging, really way above your level. Push yourself, okay? Kalamula says, how can you memorize words permanently and not temporarily? Kalamula, let me ask you a question. This is for anybody here. Why do you remember your friends? Why do you remember your friends? You have friends, right? Why do you remember them? Why do you remember who they are and what they're about? Because you keep talking to them. Because you keep having interactions and experiences with them. The same thing is true with words. If you want to remember the words, then you better spend some time with them. It's that simple. It's that simple. Okay? Words and people are the same. If you want to remember a person, you spend time with them. If you want to remember a word, you spend time with it. Okay? If you can't remember, you didn't spend enough time. And the time that you spend should be interesting, right? When you're out with your friends, you don't do boring stuff together, you do interesting stuff together. So, same thing with your words. Find ways to experience them and have that be interesting, right? Spend time with the words in interesting ways, okay? There are countless words. Well, not countless. You can count them. It's a lot, though. You're right. It's a lot of words. But that's why language is a beautiful thing. Each word is like a color, right? And there are thousands of colors. And everybody chooses slightly different colors to work with to make their art. That's a beautiful thing. That means language is unique to each person. That's the artistic side of linguistics. You're reading select reading books for learning English. Are they good books? Hashem, I'm not familiar with those, but I'm sure if it's books that are designed for reading practice from a company that was trying to create good reading materials, then I'm sure they're good. Yeah, but I'm not familiar with that, so I can't really comment. Okay? There are countless words, and the other thing is you can find creative ways to have parties with the words, right? So that's what a book is. A book is a party of words. All right? An article is a party of words. You read, and there's a bunch of words. They're all together having a party about something. Okay? Does our speaking skill depend on our feeling of mind? If it does, how should we prepare our attitude and mindset? Positive, yes, absolutely it does. In two specific ways. So, does our speaking skill depend on our feeling of mind? Yes. Confidence. Confidence is a very important part of language. If you have no confidence, you cannot speak. It's like being a musician. A musician must perform, right? So if you don't have confidence, how can you really be a good musician? And the more confidence you have, the better you can perform, right? So confidence is certainly a very important part of it. And then the second part of it is a more literal aspect of feeling of mind. And what I mean is, the language must feel comfortable here before it will feel comfortable here. All right? If you are able to think about that subject comfortably, then you'll be able to speak about that subject comfortably. Okay? What does kinship mean? Kin means family, so kinship means like family. It means like family. So if I say I have a certain kinship with him, it means I have a certain feeling of commonality, like we're similar, almost like family, right? We have a certain kinship. There's something that we have in common that makes us feel like we're related, a kinship. Okay? Input plus output plus consistency equals confidence. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that, Flavia. Okay. Which is better for scholarship, IELTS, TOEFL, or Duolingo? I don't know that answer. That's a good question, but I don't know that answer. Do a search online. I'm sure somebody's already answered that question. But I'm afraid I don't have the answer to that one. Hello, Annabelle. Tell us how to learn compound verbs. You mean phrasal verbs. And yes, they are difficult, Islam. So here's what you should do. They are difficult, one. Two, you should approach them in a similar way to idioms, that you should just try to learn a few of them a day or a few of them a week, however many that you think you can consistently try to learn. Choose a number and then choose a time period, per day, per week, per month, right? And then choose phrasal verbs that have a common word, common verb, right? So get out, get on, get in, get out, get through, get over, get with. There are a bunch of get phrasal verbs. Learn all the ones that have get together. Then learn all the ones with take in, take out, take off, take through, take over. Learn all those together, right? So those are my two suggestions about phrasal verbs. One, you should try to just do a little at a time. Choose a certain number that's realistic that you think you can learn. And two, try to learn them in related groups. Okay? Hello, Rose. Hello, Sayoma. Thank you. Hello, Amir. All right, so if you guys want to ask questions in the chat, you can. If you want to raise your hand and come talk to me, you can. Okay, I don't bite. Well, sometimes maybe. William has raised his hand. Ah.
Hello.
Hello, William. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm not bad. I'm trying to stay inside today because it's bitterly cold outside today.
No, I'm living in Guangzhou. It's very warmer.
Ah, okay. Well, today, right now, outside here is minus 13 C.
Oh,
Very cold.
so nice.
Yeah, very, very cold. It's winter. Very, very cold winter here now. So, William, so you're in Guangdong, and what can I do for you today? How can I help you? Do you have a question for me or something I can help you with?
Yeah, I have a question. I learn English hardly, but I have a little progress. I want to have more progress.
Okay. So tell me, what do you do to learn English?
I think it's my hobby.
Okay, so
I like it.
So how do you learn English? 你用什么东西？你有什么你有英文的课本吗？还是英文网络？还是什么？你用什么？
Internet.
Internet. Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you want to learn something and you're not making progress, it means that you're not doing enough, or what you are doing is not very effective. It's not working. Okay? So, let me give you a few websites that might help you. Here's one website that might help you. This website is called GamesToLearnEnglish.com. GamesToLearnEnglish.com. It's a website, you can use it in China, and it's a website that has lots of games for learning English. It has vocabulary, it has grammar, it has sentences, phrasal verbs, lots of different things that you can practice with that website. Okay, you can use it on your phone, you can use it on your computer, you can use it anywhere. All right, GamesToLearnEnglish.com. Go to that website and start using it.
Yeah, I want to thank you very much.
No
I think
problem.
it's useful.
Okay, and then there's another one that's useful. There's one called eslfast.com. ESLFast is a free website that has maybe 2,000 or 3,000 short stories. And these short stories are for beginner to intermediate level, okay? Not advanced, okay? Okay, 不是困难的, okay? So
Yes, thank you.
that's reading. So you
I
can
want to
use
remember.
those two websites. And yes, those two websites are free. Those are free websites. Okay?
Thank you, thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
I try to it. I first I copy it.
Yeah, go there, and then you need to practice your reading, William. You need to practice your writing. You need to practice your listening, and you need to practice your speaking. Okay? You also
Yeah.
you also need to learn how to think in English. Okay? 现在如果你要说英文，我觉得你第一次想中文，然后你翻译英文，对不对？
Yes,
Yeah. 在你的脑里，你对 ，Yeah， 你需要想一想，第一次你需要想一想，这个英文怎么说？所以你需要Yeah, you need a little time to translate. That's too slow， 这是太慢的。OK， 所以你需要用英文的脑，英文的脑。OK，so
Yes.
I do the same thing with Chinese. 这是为什么我可以说中文，因为我有中文的脑。Okay,
It's very
so
amazing.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you have to do the same thing. You have to learn how to think in the language. Okay.
Yeah, Chinese students learn English for exam.
I know. Yeah.
Me, me too.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
When-
So you need to figure that out, and then you also need to work on your grammar and your pronunciation and your vocabulary. Vocabulary. 词汇. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, William, if you make a plan and you use those websites and you learn how to think in English, then you will make progress. Okay?
Yeah. So I have other good question.
Okay?
How do I have thinking in English?
Okay. So first, 你需要想很简单的，所以这是宝贝的英文。Like, I feel hungry, I feel tired, I feel sad, I feel happy. Those are simple, right? Very, very easy. You can do that. 可是现在，如果你感觉这个，你用你的中文的脑，你需要用你的英文的脑，不是想我肚子饿，不是你需要想I'm hungry，不是想我好累，你需要想I'm tired。Yeah, okay. So every day start with simple things and just think them in English. I want that, I don't want that. I like that, I don't like that. I need that, I don't need that. I feel blah, blah, blah. I feel angry, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel tired, I feel hungry. Okay? That's the first step. First step is baby English. Just that. But we think these kinds of simple thoughts a lot every day. So that's a lot of practice that you can do if you just change the language you think in. Start thinking in English more, and then you'll practice more, okay? Then the second step is you need to start looking around your world. Look around and say, 这个怎么说, 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 这个怎么说. And then you need to say, what is that? Oh, I don't know. Who is that? Oh, it's the boss. Where is that? Oh, it's over in Ohio. When do we go here? When do we go there? Ask simple questions and then answer them. Right? So think of simple questions. Okay? Simple questions like, who do I see? What is that? Where are we going? When do we leave? Simple questions, and then answer the simple questions. That's step 2. Okay, and that's a lot. Okay, every day you should go around and say, I don't know. What is that called? What is that called? What is that called? What is that called? I don't know. That's your homework. Okay? 这是你的功课. Yeah, 功课. Yeah, okay? Yeah, 如果你不知道这个怎么说，你需要写，这是你的功课.
Yes,
okay?
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, and for everybody out there, I'm sorry, I'm speaking half Chinese, half English. So for the people who don't speak Chinese, I'm telling him that every day he needs to use his his English mind. He needs to use his English mind and learn to think in English, and then you can practice English a lot more, and then you'll make more progress. Okay, but if you're always thinking in your native language, then you are wasting a lot of practice time. Okay, that's possible. That's time that you could be practicing English. Okay? All right.
Okay.
So, William, try that. Okay? 试试看. 加油.
Yes, thank you.
手能相巧.
I tried.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Take care,
You're
William.
welcome.
I'll see you next time, okay?
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you next time. Thank you.
Okay, so... by the way, I'm on YouTube right now, also. The same time that I'm here, I'm on YouTube, right? So if you go to my YouTube channel, if you want to, you can. And it's the same thing that you're watching right now. It's maybe just 20 seconds late. It's delayed by 20 seconds or so. And there's no time limit there. So you can go there and there's no time limit. Simon, did I see a comment from Simon? Simon, are you still here? Is that Simon from Hello Talk, Simon? And Simon, as you can see, we still have no subtitles today. I don't know if that's the right Simon or not, but yeah, we're still dealing with a subtitle problem. Yeah, I'm sorry, Simon. Maybe that's a different Simon. There's another Simon who works for Hello Talk who helps me sometimes with my problems. I thought maybe you were him. Maybe it's a different Simon. Okay. Let me go back and make sure I didn't miss any comments or questions, and then I'll try to get somebody else up on the stage. Just please be patient. Be patient. I train my mind to think in English before I go to sleep, like I wrap up all the events that have been happening during the day. That's a great tip. Yeah, at the end of the night, do a little wrap up. You know, what did I do today? Can I think about what I did today in English? Can I have a little thought session about reviewing my day in English? That's an excellent opportunity. And if you remember, I sometimes mentioned that you should choose consistent, regular moments daily that you can practice, right? So every time you cook, or every time you eat, or every time you shop, or every time you watch TV, or every time you go to take a shower or get ready in the morning in the bathroom, use those moments as learning moments. Because they're consistent, that means you get a consistent amount of practice. Okay? All right. Hello to all the new people. I seem tired today. I don't know why. I'm trying not to be. I have my coffee. Yes, you can use them in China. Those websites I gave you should be fine in China. Okay? Jennifer says, I follow Mr. Todd's English materials every day to learn English. That's fine. I know Todd. I'm sure he has great materials too. So that's good. But Jennifer, there are some times when more is good. And in learning, I think more is almost always good. So, you can get more than one teacher. You can have more than one website. You can have more than one app. You can have more than one book, right? You don't have to just have one, right? You wonder if I'm on Xiaohongshu. I have a Xiaohongshu account, but I haven't started really using it yet, but I'm about ready to. So starting this week, probably, maybe this week, next week, I'm going to start trying to post some stuff on Xiaohongshu. Okay, and what does filming wise mean? When we put the word wise at the end of a word, when we add the word wise, it means, let me think how to explain that. It means regarding that thing, about that thing, right? So, about filming, blah, 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 blah. Regarding filming, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So that's what filming wise means, okay? Banking wise, I do my banking at this bank. That means regarding my banking, I do it at this bank, okay? English should be learned from childhood and have a basic foundation, haha. Well, okay, but just because you didn't learn it from childhood doesn't mean you can't learn it now. Jeremiah, yeah, I'm a drummer. That's actually my main job. I'm an English teacher, but I was a drummer for a lot longer than I've been an English teacher. And once a drummer, always a drummer. So good luck to you, Jeremiah. I love the drums. You'd better attend the real English class in the English training school. I think is a better way to practice your oral English. Jennifer, if you can go to a real English class in an English training school, sure, that's great. But not everybody can or wants to do it that way. And certainly there are many ways to learn today other than that, right? And what I try to encourage here, I am a big proponent of self-learning. Okay, so I am a teacher, but I encourage my students to be self-learners. Right? I want my students to have the curiosity and the capability to be able to attack knowledge themselves without me always helping or guiding them every step of the way, right? So in the beginning, sure, I guide them every step of the way. But over time, a good teacher should try to take the training wheels off your bike and start letting go of your hand a little bit more to let you do more and they do less, right? My daughter went to school, elementary school, middle school, and high school, learning English. How much did she spend on English tutoring? Now she has to learn English in college. Right. Well, but there are some problems with the way they teach English in China. Everybody knows it. The way you teach English in China is not effective. You have a bunch of people who are passing the tests who have no real ability to use the language. And what's the point of a test if you can't use the language? Right? All right, again, please be patient. And Jennifer, you should watch and follow my live streams. You guys can go to my YouTube channel and follow there as well. So you mentioned you should write a diary. I've talked about that many times, right? So if you guys are new here, if you've never been here before, hi, my name is Teacher Mark. I've been on Hello Talk for about 12 years. I was one of the first live streamers on Hello Talk. I have about 74,000 followers here, and I am a real English teacher, and I have real tips, okay? And I'm here a lot. And I've done a lot of live streams here, like more than 1,000 hours. Let me see. How many hours am I up to now? Let's find out. 109. Let's see. $1,816 hours I have done here. Okay, so and all of it is me trying to teach the entire time. Okay, so yes, go to my YouTube channel. You can follow, check things out. Okay, that's probably what I'm going to try to do on Xiaohongshu is attempt to try to post things similar to my YouTube channel because people in China can't use the YouTube, right? Falcon wants to know how to improve your spoken English pronunciation and intonation. Falcon, pronunciation you need to improve by understanding that Chinese is a small mouth language and English is a big mouth language. So if you want to speak English and sound more clear like me, to speak more clearly, then you should open your mouth more. Okay? When I speak Chinese, I try to open my mouth less. I make my mouth smaller. Okay? That's one way, but there are a lot of other things you can do, Falcon, but you're probably going to need to come on stage and talk to me or get a lesson from me. How can you get an American accent? You got to just listen to a bunch of Americans and practice sounding like them. Okay? Thank you, Positive. Hello, Michelle. Simon plays drum set too. That's awesome. Good for you. How can you improve your fluency in English? Yes, Leo, follow me. Okay, if you're going to give me a big question, then I'm going to give you a big answer. Okay, how can I improve my fluency in English is a huge question. So my answer is go to my YouTube and watch my videos, and you'll find out how to improve your fluency in English. Okay, dig into my YouTube channel. Dig into my YouTube channel. You'll find lots of answers there. Okay. Okay, let's see. Will I be here every day? I'm not here every day, but I'm here a lot, Cherry. Okay? Thank you, Region. How can you improve your Chinese? The same way that I tell people to improve your English. All the same things I'm telling you to do for your English is what I do for my Chinese. Right? So you have to learn how to think in Chinese if you want to learn Chinese. Okay? You listen to my podcast. Well, thank you for that, Amir. I appreciate that. Yeah, I need to get back to my podcast. I haven't recorded any new episodes in a couple of months, so I need to get back to doing that. Yes. I learned Chinese mostly by myself. Okay, would anyone else like to come on stage and talk to me? If you'd like to come on stage and talk to me, raise your hand. Igor Malinovsky says, good morning, Teacher Mark. Have you ever heard you look like the younger Stellan Skarsgård? Let me see who that is. I don't recognize the name. Oh, I know that guy. I like that guy. He's a great actor. That's funny. I've never heard that before, but I'll take that. He's a great actor. I'll take that, Igor. There's a guy named Stellan Skarsgård. He's an actor, and somebody said I look like him, like a younger version of him. Look it up. You'll find it yourself. Let's try to stay on topic. You're afraid you'll be kicked out again. You mean from the time limit? Amir, go to my YouTube, Amir. If you go to my YouTube, you can watch this right now, but on YouTube, and there's no time limit there, so you can't get kicked out. You could save your time for Hello Talk for another person or another stream, okay? So you can definitely just go there. He's Swedish. Oh, okay. Yeah, with a name like Stellan Skarsgård, I would imagine he is Swedish. Mr. Best says he's a great actor. Good for you. All right. So, again, let's see who's raising their hand. Fathom is raising his hand or her hand. I'm not sure. Let's find out. Fathom, would you like to come talk to me? Hello, Fathom. How are you?
Hi. Hi, thank you. Do you hear me?
I do. Yeah, the connection is a little bit shaky, but I can hear you and see you. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what should I do.
Yeah.
I think my connection is weak.
Yeah, the connection is pretty weak, I think. There's a big delay. There's a big delay. But we can try to talk to each other. We just have to be patient.
Okay.
So tell me, you're in Iran. Do you have a question for me or something that I can help you with?
Yeah, how can I improve my speaking skills?
Okay. So there are two ways to think about this. One is, how do you actually practice speaking more? Well, that can be hard because if you don't live someplace where they speak English, then there's not much practice opportunity, right? So, for some of you, if you live in a big city, that's international, then there are probably some native English speakers there. And you can find them and try to go talk to them. The easiest way to find English-speaking people in your country is to go find the restaurants that serve Western food. Right? So if you find a place that serves good burgers or good pizza, there will probably be some Westerners there on the weekend. Go talk to them. All right? I promise it's not that hard. You can go say, hey, can I buy you some pizza? And we have a conversation, and they'll say, sure. Okay? So that's one simple way to find people who are local. All right? But if you can't find a native speaker, then you can find other people like you, non-native speakers. There are other Iranians who want to practice English also. You can practice with them. Okay? Now, I know it's not as good. It's not as good as practicing with a native speaker. Right? But
Yeah.
it's still good. One, it's still good. And two, you might find a native speaker on Hello Talk who doesn't know anything about English grammar and he can't help you at all. And maybe their grammar is not very good. So just because they're a native doesn't mean their English is awesome. Okay, so you can find people like you who want to get together. You go create a little group. Find a little group, and every Friday you guys can go have tea and or coffee and speak English for an hour or two. You know, have an English Thursday, Friday meetup group at a coffee house or something and practice your English together, right? So that's one other way. If you can't find a native speaker to practice with, find a non-native person to practice with, okay? Then there's another way to practice your speaking. If you can't find a native speaker and you can't find a non-native speaker, it's not hard to find somebody that doesn't know anything. You can find somebody who doesn't know anything and then teach them. Teaching is one of the best kinds of practice that you can do. When you teach something to someone, you have to explain it to them. And that is great practice for you. Okay, so you can teach your neighbor, you can teach your friend, you can teach your mom or your dad, you can teach your grandpa, your grandma, you can teach your boss, you can teach the guy sitting next to you on the bus. Just teach. Teaching is excellent, excellent practice. Okay? So, first step, try to find a native speaker. Second step, trying to find a non-native speaker. Third step, Teach somebody, anybody, doesn't matter, just teach somebody. And the fourth step is, if you can't find any of those other kinds of people, you can't find a native speaker, can't find a non-native speaker, can't find a person to teach, then just talk to yourself. Watch TV, and when the TV is on, talk about it. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. Wow, look at the news. This is unbelievable. Just whatever you're thinking, just say those words out loud in English. Watch a movie and say, wow, this movie is really great. Or I really don't like that guy. He's not nice. Or she's cute. Whatever. Just think about whatever you're thinking in English, say it in English. Talk to your mirror. Look at yourself and have a conversation. Talk to the dog. If you have a dog or a cat, talk to them in English. Okay? So, those are 4 good ways that you can get more practice with real speaking. Now, that's the one way to consider practicing your speaking. But there's another way to practice your speaking, and that is in your mind. Okay? Speaking starts by thinking. So, I know it's hard to find people to practice with there, but it's not hard to just use English in your mind every day. So if you go to the market, can you go to the market and use an English mind to do it? If you, watch TV, can you watch TV and use an English mind when you're watching TV? So I live in the United States, but I practice Chinese every day. Because I just watch TV and think in Chinese. I cook dinner and think in Chinese. I go to the store and I think in Chinese. Okay? Understand? So that's the secret of language is if you can get the language to feel comfortable in your mind, then it will feel comfortable in your mouth. Okay? But if it's not comfortable here, then it's going to always feel like, okay? Yeah. That's the secret.
And do you think using of ChatGPT is a good idea for improving my speaking skills?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. ChatGPT is one of the most amazing things to come out. And if you don't use it, I don't understand you. You should be trying, everybody here should be trying to use it for something. For something. You can use it for your English. You can use it for your business. You can use it for your family. You can use it for your travels. You can use it for anything. It is unbelievable what it can do for you. And it's only going to get better. Until it kills us, it's going to get better, right? Like eventually it probably will kill us. But before it does that, it's probably going to be this amazing tool for learning that it can teach you almost anything. So use it before it kills us. That's my advice about AI. Everybody, use it until it kills us. Okay? I have many Iranian followers here, and that's the same advice I give them is, I know you live in Iran, but that doesn't mean you can't practice English. You can every day. Just the same way that I practice Chinese here. It's kind of like your phone, right? You on your phone, you can choose a language, right? So you have to go up in your brain and change the settings to change the language in your mind so that you're using an English mind more often. And just like if you change the language in your phone to English, it's going to be hard. You're going to be like, oh my God, I don't know how, wow, I don't know how to do this now. But think about how great that would be for your English. If you forced yourself to do that, think about how great it would be for your English. Your English will improve quickly because you have to. Okay? Same thing is true with your brain. Use your English in your mind as much as you can, and I promise you, it's a lot more practice than just saying, most people when they say they want to practice a language, they say, well, I'm going to study for 1 hour every day, or 2 hours every day, or 3 hours every day. And that's great. You can do that too. But imagine how much more time that you can practice a language if you just learn how to change the language in your mind. Now you can just do everything you do every day, but do it in a different language. Okay? So, you know what they used to say about language? They used to
Yes.
say, if you don't use it, you will lose it. That's what they used to say, right? If you don't use your language, then you'll forget it. And that is true, unless you know what I just told you. If you know what I just told you, you can use a language for the rest of your life, and it doesn't matter if you're not living someplace that speaks that language. You can just think in that language. Okay? Okay, now, go ahead. What's your next comment or question?
And do you know some website that it has a different English movie we translate, and I can watch it to improve my speaking, my English?
I don't know too many websites. No, I use the normal stuff like Netflix. You know, I use Netflix and Hulu and those, and they do have many languages and translations. But I'm not good with the. I don't know many of the websites that have stuff for free. I'm not familiar. I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. Yeah, maybe somebody in the audience, if you guys want to message Fathom, you guys probably know a website that has stuff. You can tell her, because I don't know. Okay? Apple TV. See, Maria has Apple TV. Right. That's, like I said, yeah, I use Netflix, same kind of thing. Netflix has subtitles, So, and YouTube also has subtitles, they're not always very good, but they have them. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
Can you ask some questions to me and know what's my level in English skills?
Okay, sure. Tell me, what do you like to do for fun?
For fun, if being at the weekend, I prefer reading novels or watch a movie. I'm over the moon when I'm lying in the furniture and I watch the movie Lonely.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. When you watch a movie by yourself. So you like to just be cozy at home, watching movies at home. So there's an English word for that. Let me teach you. There's a slang word. Sometimes we say, I'm like a homebody. I'm a homebody. A homebody means I like to stay home and be cozy and watch my TV and just be home. I'm a homebody. Yeah. It's a slang term. Just means somebody who likes to stay home and not go out. It's body, B-O-D-Y, home body. Yeah, home body, B-O-D-Y. Yeah, a home body. I'm a body that likes to stay home. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah, or there's another term we sometimes use, which is couch potato. But couch potato is almost more like you're saying you're lazy, right? You spend all your time on the couch like a potato, right? So, but sometimes you can be both. Sometimes you could be a homebody and a couch potato. Yeah. That's okay. It's okay to be a couch potato every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Fathom, it was great to talk to you. And by the way, your English level is, I would say, intermediate to advanced. So your listening is pretty good. Your speaking is pretty good. I think you need to work a little bit more on your confidence and your vocabulary. Don't worry about your accent. Accent is not that important. And almost everybody in Iran that speaks English with a really great accent. So really, don't worry about that. Worry about maybe just working on mostly your vocabulary and your grammar. Okay, that's the level you're at. It's right in that intermediate level. In the intermediate level, you mostly need to focus on grammar and vocabulary. Okay?
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, it was wonderful to talk to you, and keep up the good work, and I'll see you next time, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Let's see. Okay, who is next? Anyone? Give me just 1 minute, everybody. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just catch up with some comments here, make sure I didn't miss any questions. Victor, hello, Victor. Long time no see. I'm fine. And you know what? I think I remember I saw a message from you and I forgot to reply back to you. But yeah, here I am, man. Yeah, follow me again. Come back and join us again. You want to raise your hand and come talk to me? I haven't seen you in ages. Okay, let's see. Oh, I like that. I've said thinking is pre-listening. I like that. I'm going to use that. Thinking is pre-listening. That's right. Yeah, it's like a practice room. Like I said, it's like an ability. It's a chance for you to practice things. You guys are all so worried about making mistakes and being embarrassed. Well, guess what? If you practice your language in your mind, there's no reason to be embarrassed. There's no reason to be ashamed. There's no reason to be shy. There's no reason to be worried. You can practice language in your mind and make as many mistakes as you want. Okay? Let's see. Hello, Maria. Can I ask if it's a popular idiom? The ship has sailed. I'd say yeah. Yeah, we still use that one. That ship has sailed. Yeah, the train has left. Yeah, we say the same thing. Both of them. Yeah. Train has left the station. The ship has sailed. Yeah, that's it. You missed the boat. Yeah, we also say that one. You missed the boat. Okay. All right. I think I'm just about caught up here. So, okay, thank you guys for giving some suggestions for websites for movies and whatever. I appreciate that. All right. All right, next is Sammy. And then we have Heidi, and then we have Mohammed. Sammy, do you want to come talk to me? Sammy doesn't want to come? Let me try one more time. Sammy, come talk to me. Okay, I guess Sammy is busy. Okay, hello Gunter, good to see you. Let's go to Heidi.
Hello.
Hello Heidi, how are you?
I'm good. Can I ask a question before we start the conversation?
Hold on a second. Let me fix the sound here. I can't quite hear you very well. One moment. Let me see if I can make it better. Oh, that's as loud as I can get it. Okay, so Heidi, you're in Iran again, another Iranian. Nice to see you. And how can I help you today? What can I do for you?
Nice to see you again. I just wanted to say, can I continue this way because my internet connection is not that good? So,
Yeah, your connection is not that good, so I couldn't quite hear you very well. Yeah, did anybody else understand? Heidi, I don't know if we're going to be able to. We might have to try again, Heidi. We might need to drop the connection and try it again because I couldn't quite understand.
sorry,
And
can you hear me now?
not very well.
So should I go off stage and then join again?
Yeah, why don't you try that? Let's try that. Try coming off the stage and let me bring somebody else up, and then I'll try to get you up, okay?
All right, it's all right.
Okay. All right, let's go to, okay, Muhammad is next. And then we'll try Heidi again after we do Muhammad.
Hello.
Hello again, Muhammad. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm okay. What can I do for you today?
You can understand. I wish you can remember me.
I do remember you, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so what can I do? What can I do for you today?
Actually, I have some few questions I want to discuss with you about it. Yesterday, I had a good conversation with you, and it was very useful for me. Actually, I started the conversation very well, and I think you estimated my level something between C1. And after this, I stuck in one word. I don't know why I am always doing such a mistake like this when I want to say only a specific or particular word. I start to think how to bring it to my mind, and I start to waste my fluency regarding to this.
Right.
Yesterday, for example, I wanted to put a lecture or lesson with you or something like this. And the problem is I forget how to say it. It's easy word for me, but I forget how to say it or how to bring it to my mind. Put or reserve. It was easy, and I started it. I don't know, and it also reflected my confidence.
Okay.
I want you to tell me how to avoid such a mistake like this, and also tell me, is it really necessary to use the same word or try to find easy one?
That's the secret, is what you just said there. Language, to be good at language, you need to be what we call a wordsmith. Okay, a wordsmith is somebody who's
Wordsmith?
Yeah, a wordsmith means somebody who's good with their words. Okay, like the word blacksmith is an old word that used to be a job that somebody would make metal things. Was called a blacksmith, right? So the word smith means somebody who they make things. So a wordsmith.
Okay.
Wordsmith means somebody who makes words well, right? They put words together well. And when you speak, it's like being an artist, right? So let me ask you a question, Muhammad. Are you a good artist?
I'm not sure about it.
Okay. So if I
don't have any talent.
If I ask you to draw a dog, do you think you can draw something that I'll be able to recognize as a dog?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think
But maybe.
I think
I
you can.
express.
Yeah, I think I think you can draw a simple picture that I will say, "Oh, it's a dog." Yeah, okay, that's a dog.
Yeah.
Now, is it a pretty dog? No. Is it a perfect dog? No. Is it the exact dog that I have? No. But I can recognize it. That's language is the same way. Sometimes we spend so much time looking in our mind for that perfect word. And then that's what happens. We get nervous or frustrated or something happens where because we can't disappointed, we can't find the perfect word, so we feel like, and now we lose the conversation altogether. But language is more like drawing, where I can't draw a perfect dog, but I can draw something simple that you can recognize and say, oh, it's a dog. I do the same thing in Chinese. There are a lot of vocabulary words in Chinese that are very difficult words that I don't know. I don't know. But I have a simple vocabulary, an intermediate simple vocabulary that I can use to describe those things, and people will say, oh, I know what he's talking about. Right? So I can discuss very difficult topics by using the simpler language I have creatively. And that's what being a wordsmith is about. Using the language you have creatively to try to express more, right? So there are some people, you can have 3 people, right? 3 people, and they all have only 1,000 words of vocabulary. They only have the same 1,000 words, right? But each one of them will have a different ability to use those words, right?
For sure.
One of those guys might not be very creative at all, and so because he's not very creative, his ability to use that 1,000 words is very limited. So he feels like that 1,000 words is not very valuable. But there might be another guy who feels like, oh, I'm very creative. I can use those words creatively to describe a lot more than what I actually know. Right?
Yeah.
So creativity is a big part of language. The ability to not try to get stuck. You know, don't just search for the perfect word and then give up. You know, sometimes instead of trying to look up for the perfect word, look down for the more simple words that you can use.
Yeah.
Okay?
I totally agree with you. And also, you know, maybe you have a lot of vocabulary inside your brain or inside your mind, but you can't use it.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
in this time, it will be useless.
Yeah.
I prefer to have less words, but it's in my conscious, so I can use it easily without thinking on it.
Right, right. You know, that's kind of like advanced vocabulary. I have a very advanced vocabulary, right? And sometimes I even teach live streams about advanced vocabulary words. But in my daily life, do I use those words very often? No.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't use those words very often. Does that mean I'm stupid? No, it means that
No.
language is usually best when it's simple.
Yes.
You know, every language, doesn't matter what language it is. Language is supposed to be about communication. So if language is supposed to be about communication, then simplicity it's like math. You should always reduce it to its simplest form.
Unless for IELTS test.
Yeah, unless it's for the IELTS test. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
you can't use simple vocabulary.
Right. But that's why the IELTS test is a weird test. That's why the IELTS and the TOEFL, they're both weird, because they push your level of language beyond practical usage. But they should be shooting for practical usage. Right?
Yeah.
They have the wrong goal. The goal of the IELTS test and the goal of the TOEFL test, they're looking for mastery. They want you to have it mastered. I think that's
they want you to show off your English.
Right. But I think that's a mistake. Yeah. I think that people shouldn't be trying to attain mastery. They should be trying to attain practical ability. You know, they need to be able to just use the language to speak in daily life. They shouldn't be using the language to impress college professors with their grand, verbosity.
Yeah. Actually, I heard your conversation with previous girl. You discussed about something like immerse yourself in language, and this way actually did. And I can tell you, and I can tell all audience who already heard us now, that it's very useful tips, because it helps me a lot. I feel that I get some progress while doing such thing. I can now find myself watching English movies with subtitle, and other times without subtitles. Also trying to have a conversation like now with native speaker like you, And I think also your way with teaching is very nice way, because you can make some jokes while you telling the story. You give nice examples of yourself also, and
I try.
think I like your way.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mohammed. Yeah, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And
Well,
I think that behind you there is drums. You are drummer.
I am. That's correct.
You
Yeah.
are talented. You are talented.
Well, Mohammed, all of the tips, almost all of the tips that I give about language learning are things that I have used from my history as a musician. So my approach to language learning is based on my approach to music learning. So that's why my tips are very different than most people, because I'm giving you tips that are tips that we use for learning music. These are the same things we do for learning music, but I'm just applying them to language. And yeah, it's just something that you guys have not heard before.
You just tell your experience, but
Right.
can I tell you something?
Sure.
I feel like you not look like a musician. I feel like you look like accountant, banker, something like that.
Well,
you don't seem a musician at all.
I'm sorry, Mohammed. Many years ago, I had long hair, and I was a skinny guy, and I wore,
you still have a nice hair.
So. My hair is starting to fall out, but it's all right. I'm an old man now. But
You look young.
Mohammed, that's the thing I like about being a musician. To be honest with you, there is no real look for what a musician is. Musicians can be anybody. They can be anything. And they can surprise you sometimes, Yeah, because I don't have any tattoos, or anything like that. I don't have anything like that, right? And now, of course, Mohammed, also now, because I'm a teacher now, that's my main job now, is being a teacher. So now I dress a little bit more maturely, and I dress a little differently than when I was younger, right? But when I was younger, I would always dress like a rock and roll guy, and I had long hair, and when you saw me when I was younger, you'd say, "Oh, he's a musician for sure." Yeah. But now it's different. Yeah.
So you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert person?
I think that
is it a tough question?
I think because I think I'm both. I think that I have the ability to be an extrovert. I have the ability to talk to anybody, anytime, anywhere about anything. But I also do prefer to be alone sometimes, and I also prefer only the company of a few people rather than a lot of people, right?
Okay.
So I think I'm kind of in between. I can talk to anybody about anything, anytime, anywhere, but do I always want to? No. Okay.
There was an expression you mentioned before with the girl before me related to this part. You said maybe she is something like homebody.
Yeah, homebody. Yeah, a homebody.
I remember that.
Yeah, homebody.
You consider yourself as a homebody person.
Now, yes, but that's because when you're a musician for many, many years, I started playing music in clubs when I was 18 or so, and
wow,
and I played music in clubs until I was about 35.
So you are professional. It's not just a talent. Not just a hobby.
No, that was my job. Job. My first teaching job was teaching drums. So I started learning how to teach when I was 18 years old, teaching music and teaching drums. And then many years later, I became an English teacher.
This is your main job now. Actually, I read your bio, and you mentioned also you are a chef, or you just like to cook the food.
Yeah, I'm a cook. I don't want to call myself a chef. I'm a cook.
But you didn't take it up as a profession.
I have worked in restaurants.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're multitasking now.
Well, I started learning how to cook when I was about 11 or 12. I started playing music when I was about 11 or 12. So I've been doing both of those for a long time. And I just love to cook. And food and music are two of my most favorite things in the world. And I love learning about them. Food, music, and history. If you put those three things together, that's me, because history, that's culture, right? So that's why I know a little bit about your country and their country and their country and their culture and this language and that language, because I've been learning about cultures for years, many years.
Actually, when I told you where I am from, you told me some big cities in my country. That's why I feel impressed. How do you know such things?
Well, I've been, like I said, Mohammed, I've been on this app for about 12 years. And in that time, I have talked to people in every single country in the world, every single place in the world. And every time I talk to people, I always try to ask, where are you from? And, where's that? Right? So I'll learn a little bit when this is part of my teaching method. I tell you that if you want to learn, then you need to make learning part of your lifestyle. So this is what I've done. Every time I talk to a new person, I try to find some way to learn something from it. So it's a simple way for me to say, oh, you live in what city? Oh, I don't know that city. Let me find it. Now I've learned something. Right? So I turned it into a simple learning exercise. Just talking to somebody.
I want to say some compliment or good things about you, related to you. I think you are friendly. You make me so convenient when I have conversation with you right now. You made me feel relaxed, no stress, and I can express myself easily. That's why I'm trying to ask you some few questions now, because I consider you as a friend now. And I think audience really like our conversation now because they knew some new things they didn't know about you before.
Well, I appreciate that, Mohammed. And again, if you look at the title of my stream, is called A Friend in Every Corner. And that's because that's what I like to do, is make friends with people around the world. And the job of any good teacher is to make their students comfortable to learn. If a student doesn't feel comfortable, how can they possibly learn? So a teacher should be encouraging. A teacher should be relaxed and laid back, but also challenging and push you. So there's an interesting combination of characters that you need to have to be a teacher. You need to be laid back and fun, but you also need to be serious and passionate.
For sure.
Yeah. So, but the things I do in life, all of the things I do in life are passion driven, right? So some people, they become an accountant or they become a lawyer or a doctor because that's the job they chose. But it wasn't driven by passion. It was driven by purpose. But for me, everything I do
they want the money.
Right. Yeah, but for me, everything I do is driven by passion. I teach because I love to teach. I play music because I love to play music. Good. I cook because I love to cook.
Okay, that's very good. And can I ask you about, actually, I didn't visit your YouTube channel before. I will do after we finish this live. But I want to ask you about your content. What is your content are about? And can you give me some brief about it? And
sure.
I want to tell you something more before you start. Actually, I like your accent. It's very clear. I can give you an advice if you can make some shadowing. That means you can say a long sentence, and students or audience in YouTube will repeat after you. That will help them to make a good pronunciation and imitate you. It will help them a lot because your accent is very perfect.
So I appreciate the suggestion. I do have there's going to be a new live stream I'm going to try soon that's going to be a reading live stream where I have a website I use. I'll put the website up on the screen and I'll bring somebody on the stage and I'll ask you to read something and then I will read it and then we'll talk about the vocabulary and the pronunciation and all that stuff. So I have a reading stream that I'm going to be doing sometime soon that's going to focus more on what you're talking about. And then my YouTube channel is mostly just what we're doing right now. Right. So what I do on my live streams mostly is I answer questions about English, any questions. So I used to make very specific live streams like this one is going to be about grammar and we're going to talk about present tense today. But then when I would do live streams like that, two things happened. One, not many people would come because it's such a small topic. Two, the people who did come, many of them didn't care about my topic. They would ask me questions about anything anyway. So I decided instead of doing these small topics, let me just say, give me your questions. just give me your questions and I'll just try to knock them out and hit as many questions as I can and, answer them as much as I can. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you will find many, many, many videos just like this one, where I talk to people from around the world, I figure out what their problems are, and I give them whatever tips or help that I can. And when you have as many followers as I have, I can almost promise whatever questions that you have, I've already answered it, probably. Somebody has already asked me that question and I've already answered it and it's probably on my live stream somewhere. You just have to go find it. So then that's what many people use my YouTube channel for shadowing because they like my accent and it's very clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So, so you can do that. If you want to shadow, then go to my YouTube channel and just use it to shadow. Just listen to me and try to repeat what I say,
Actually, it's the best effective way to enhance your pronunciation.
It's one of them. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, Mohammed, I'll tell you what, I need to let you go because I want to try to see, is Heidi, I don't know if you're still here, Heidi. Are you still here? Raise your hand again, Heidi, and I want to try to get you back on stage and see if we can get a good connection this time. But Mohammed, thank you for coming up on the stage again. Come back and see me again, okay?
You're welcome. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome, too. Afwan.
I actually enjoyed this conversation. Oh, my God. You know some few Arabics?
I do, yeah. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam, na'am, lach, insha'Allah, alhamdulillah, shukran, afwan. I can say a few things.
Wow, that's good. That's very good. I will teach you more if you want.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thank you, Mohammed. I'll talk to you next time, okay?
You're welcome.
Bye-bye, my friend.
Thank you. Goodbye, my friend.
Okay, let's see. I guess maybe we lost Heidi. I'm sorry, Heidi, if I waited too long. I apologize if I took too long. Yeah, and that's the word I was searching for. I couldn't remember the word, ambivert. There you go. Yeah, thank you, Beatrice and Palace. I'm an ambivert. Right, I'm middle-verted. I like that better. Zeta says I'm middle-verted. I prefer that term. I like that one. I'm going to call myself that from now on. I'm middle-verted. Okay. Gunter, I miss you guys too. Gunter, I just found a recipe I'm going to try maybe tomorrow for German potato pancakes with applesauce. I thought my dad might like that, so I'm going to try to make some for him. You guys are too nice with the compliments. Thank you. Can I guide you about forgetfulness in English? Yes. Forgetfulness is because you don't spend enough time using the words. So you need to figure out how you can use the language more with reading, writing, listening, speaking, or, the most important one, spend more time thinking in English. If you spend more time thinking in English, you won't be forgetful about English. Okay? All right, I think I'm just about caught up with the comments. Hello to all the new people. And Shah Zaman, I try to give as many chances to people on stage as possible. Okay, but I also try to answer as many questions as possible. Okay. Do I have a live stream the same time every day? Not exactly, no. I wish I could. I'm trying to come up with a more regular schedule, but it's a little bit difficult because, well, my life, sometimes I have lessons. It's hard to plan. So I'm going to try to do a better schedule, a more regular, consistent schedule soon. Okay? Apfelmus. Okay. Cool. Is that... Oh, there's Heidi. Heidi's back. Heidi, let's try you one more time, Heidi. Think differently. I live in Ohio. Hello, Heidi.
Hello. Hello again.
Hello. Can you guys hear her now? I can hear her, but it's also still very, very quiet.
I have a poor connection again.
It's a little bit better. I think I can maybe understand you this time.
Okay. So, hi again.
Hello again, yeah.
So my question is, do you remember the other day that you made a live stream here in Hollow Talk, and then there were another person sitting next to you?
Yeah.
And then you were also on lives on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I asked you a question, if you remember that.
I don't remember then, no. I'm sorry, I get too many questions. It's hard for me to remember all of them.
It's all right. So I asked that I told you that I accepted in early stages of MIT University.
Okay. Oh, right,
And,
MIT, I remember you now. Yes, I remember. Okay. Okay, and?
So I also applied for the Milan Polytechnic University in Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am accepted in both of them, but
Wow.
I'm still struggling between these two, and I can't choose one. And it's literally walking on my mind. I mean, it's giving me so much stress. And I actually wanted to know your opinion.
Oh,
and
wow.
you have I always wanted to talk about this with a real American, so they can tell me the real stuff. I mean, you know what I mean?
Of course I know. Yeah. So Milan Polytechnic University. I'm not familiar with that one. I know MIT because MIT is so famous, but I'm not very familiar with the Milan Polytechnic Institute. I'm sure it must be good. If it's on par with MIT, then it must be good. So I think there are two things that you can think about here. One is the academic aspect of comparison, and the other one is the cultural aspect of comparison, the social cultural aspect of comparison. So for the academic aspect, you'll have to do a little research to figure out, is a degree from MIT worth that much more than a degree from the Milan Polytechnic Institute, or are they the same? Or is Milan better? You know, which one has more value academically? And then there could be an aspect of personal interest, right? Maybe you are interested in a specific topic that they have a special professor for at MIT or in Milan that does that thing that you want, right? So if there's one particular person or a couple of people who are at that university that are doing the thing that you're really into, then that's where you should go. Right? Mm-hmm. So that could be another aspect. And then, like I said, there's the socio-cultural aspect, which is just the difference between spending time living in Italy and spending time living in America. You're going to have a lot of experiences, right? College is not just about classes. College is about your social life and your new connections that you're making with mature people that are also learning, right? So, it's the difference between going to Boston, and being in America, and going to Milan and being in Milan. Maybe you're really into fashion, Heidi. And so if you're really into fashion and that's like a hobby of yours on the side, you should go to Milan. That's like one of the fashion capitals of the world, right? Or maybe you really love Italian food. Again, maybe you should go to Milan because you love Italian food. Spend some time in Italy and eat Italian food. Maybe you really want to experience America, so you decide, okay, hey, look, America is America. I want to go there, just for the experience. So those are the socio-cultural aspects that you need to consider.
Well, I usually, if I choose, I would say MIT is way better than Polytechnic. Milan, because that is America and that is Italy. Everyone knows that America is better than any other places.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far. But I would say, okay, yes, MIT, again, like I said, MIT is famous. MIT is tremendously famous. So I don't know the Milan Polytechnic Institute, so it's hard for me to judge it. However, I also want to tell you this, though, Heidi. Sometimes people ask me what college to go to, and my answer is sometimes surprising. I will tell them sometimes the education that you could get at a basic university might be better than the education you can get at a Ivy League university. It depends on you. It depends on you. At an Ivy League university, maybe nobody will pay attention to you. Nobody will care because everybody's a freaking genius. So when everybody's a genius, the competition is so high. If you're not on that tremendously genius level, then nobody's going to give you any attention or time, right? Whereas on the other hand, you could go to a smaller university that's not very famous, and if you're pretty smart, they're going to say, wow, she's brilliant. We need to give her all of our attention. So you might get more personal attention and better education at a university that's not so popular because they are more willing to give you, personal time, right? So there is that aspect to consider too. If you go to Harvard, this is what we call the big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond theory. Do you want to be a big fish in a small pond, which means like you're in Milan, but you're brilliant and you're in Milan. So now everybody's going to talk to you and pay attention to you, give you more time and help. Or do you want to be a small fish in a big pond and go to MIT where maybe nobody will care about you because there are too many geniuses around you that they do care about?
Yeah. I'm not going to say Milan University is that bad because MIT has the third ranking in the world, I guess, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's high. It's high. It's high up there, yeah. It's hard to compare with MIT,
Yeah, and then Milan also has a good ranking between all of the universities all around the world. But when it comes to my own interests, I would say, yes, Milan is better than for me because I do love the Italian culture. I do love the Italian food. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to my future job and my future degrees and stuff, I would say if I go to MIT, then people would say, yeah, so she got higher degrees.
Yeah, right, yeah. So there is sometimes, Heidi, you need to remember, humans have a tendency to make things a binary choice. This or that. But rarely in life are things actually a binary choice, right? So there could be a third option that you're just not considering yet. For example, you could go to MIT for your undergraduate and go to Polytechnic Milan for your master's, or the other way around.
The only thing is that I'm a bit worried about this, that I'm actually Iranian, And I'm always thinking, what would people think about me? Because I would go and study between all of these Americans, and I mean, I talked to so many Iranians that they said like that they live in America, because I guess you know that there's so many Iranians who live in America, and so I talked to them. I talked to a very close friend of my dad. He's actually living in America for like over 20 years. And I told him that this stuff happened to me, and I'm still thinking about making these choices. And then he told me that he was just kind of scaring me. He was like, America is not that good.
Well, yeah, okay. So Heidi, there is that to consider. Also, Boston is pretty expensive. America is expensive. The politics in America right now are really crazy and weird, and it's kind of hard to live without being involved in it, right? Like you used to be able to live in America where you could say, well, you know, I'm just not that into politics, so I just don't care, and I just don't want to pay attention to it. But now it's almost impossible. You know, it's just like in your face constantly. And then, yeah, rent is expensive, and food is expensive, and healthcare is expensive, and everything here is freaking expensive. Now, Italy's not exactly cheap, but that is another important thing to consider. Now, as far as how people will treat you here, I don't think that's an issue, personally, okay? Yeah, because my country is a country of immigrants. So everybody comes from someplace else. I have a student who is from Iran. She's been living here in Las Vegas for like 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And so what I would tell you is if you're worried about how people will treat you here as an Iranian, I don't think that nobody cares. Nobody cares where you're from. Here's what I think that you will experience, Heidi. Probably what you will experience is what I have experienced, which is that the more I talk to Iranians, the more I go like, wow, that's not what I expected. You know, that's probably what will happen. You know, maybe you might meet somebody, you'll go out to lunch with one of your new friends at school, and they'll be like, you know, I didn't know about Iran that much, but I just didn't expect them to be like you. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iran's not the thing that they expected or ever. I mean,
right. You know,
I used
one of my favorite, one of my idols in life is a man named Anthony Bourdain. He was a chef, but he had a bunch of travel shows on TV that are my favorite travel shows on TV. And one of the shows, he went to Iran. Okay, and that's rare. It's very rare. It's very difficult for us to go there. Certainly to do a TV show there is very hard. But he got permission to do it, and he did it. And when he went there, he said something. He said, people told me that the Iranians would be nice, but I had no idea they would be the nicest people I'd ever known.
Well, that's pretty normal because I've met thousands Americans here in Iran. I mean, not thousands. I mean, I personally met 3 Americans.
Okay.
And the thing is, yeah. So, what is your final answer to me?
My final answer, Heidi, I can't tell you what to do. But I can try to help you to understand your choices better. And that's what I was trying to do, which is just to show you that there's an academic way of looking at it. There's a social, cultural aspect of you know, how to look at it. There's a financial aspect of how to look at it. You know, Polytechnic Institute might be a hell of a lot cheaper. You know, like, I don't know, like maybe they're giving you a scholarship that makes it worthwhile, you know, right?
What I
and then also there's one more thing about it too. If you come to America, you will have the opportunity to travel all around America if you have the money, right? But you also, if you go to Europe, you know, I just came from Europe. I took my first vacation to Europe just a couple months ago. And that's one thing that's cool about Europe is you can travel all around, right? So if you're in Milan, you can go to Madrid, and you can go to Germany, and you can go to Paris, and you can go check out some other places while you're there. You know?
I mean, there's also one more thing that I actually wanted to tell you, but I actually forgot. If I mean, they told me that they're gonna give me scholarship for a year, the entire year in Milan. But if I choose MIT, then everything is on me. I have to pay for everything.
And it's not cheap. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
It's-
Yeah, it's a lot of money. That's why, like I said, Heidi, I think a lot of people, including myself, and I am a fan of academia. I am a supporter of academia. However, I also am a true believer that college has become kind of perverted, and it's too much of a business, and they're making too much money, and they're charging too much money. You know, and it's not. It's out of control. It quite honestly is perverse. To be honest, it's sick that they could charge that much money and not even guarantee that you're ever going to get a job. You know, so and a lot of people graduate from these brilliant universities and don't even get a job, or they don't get a job in the field that they were studying. You know,
That's the problem that we also have it here in Iran. There's so many educated people, but
Yeah.
they just don't have it.
Yeah. There's a famous American named Rod Serling. He said, being the same as everybody is just like being nobody. And I love that because it's true. You know, you're afraid to stand up and be something different. But if you are just like everybody else, then you are nobody. Nobody cares because there's a million of you. You know?
Fun fact.
Yeah. So it's important to remember, be yourself. There's only one of you. Sell it. There's only one of you. Make that worthwhile. You know, there are a lot of teachers who teach English. A lot of teachers who teach English, but there are not that many teachers who teach English who speak Chinese. There are not that many teachers who speak Chinese and who play drums and cook and have traveled and know about history and culture. So that's me.
That's only teacher Mark. Everyone
Right.
knows that.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. Like that's the thing that I've come to embrace. It's another thing that I've learned from being a musician. When you're a young musician, you think that you want to try to sound like your idols. Like, I want to be just like my idol, this drummer here. And so you try to pretend to be like them, but eventually you realize you can't. You can't be someone else. You can learn from them. You can learn what skills and value they have, but you have to somehow find a way to make it yours.
Yeah, I'm also a musician. I know what you mean.
Oh, well, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I always tried to play like my teacher. He plays so nice. But I realized that I have my own way. I play like
Right.
I have something different.
Right. And that's a very important thing to achieve as a musician, because if you don't have that, then you're constantly fighting your ego. And you can't play good music if you're playing from a standpoint of ego. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway. Well, Heidi, I'm glad we were able to get you back up, and I'm glad I was able to understand you well enough this time. And I hope I was able to provide you with some insight. I can't give you the answer, Heidi. That would be,
Yeah,
I can't do that. I can't make that choice for you. That's too big. Heidi will come back to me, 6 months from now. She'll be like, I can't believe you told me to go to MIT. I'm so mad at you. But no, I'm sure wherever you go, Heidi, I'm sure you're going to do fine. But just remember, make the best of wherever you go. So if you go to Milan, then make the best of Milan. Remember, anybody could go there, but there are different people with different potential, right? So if Leonardo da Vinci were to go to this place, what would he do versus what you would do? Right? Yeah. I always try to give myself that perspective. Like, if I'm watching TV and I'm wasting time in my life, I try to think, okay, well, what if Albert Einstein were watching this TV show? What would he think about? Like I try to turn it into something, intelligent, even if it's not. Yeah. Anyway. So Heidi, thank you again. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Come back and see me again, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for letting me on stage again.
You're welcome.
Thanks for giving me the chance.
You're
and
welcome.
I'm really, really happy to talk to you.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. Come back again, okay?
Yeah.
All right, take care, Heidi. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. We have a bunch of people who are waiting to talk now. I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have to be patient. I know there's a lot of people who are saying, me, next me. But you got to be patient. Let me check the comments first. Shah, are you still there? Shah Zaman? You were next, Shah, but I don't see you waiting now. In the park or at the park, both are correct. They just say different things. I'm in the park means I'm inside the park somewhere. I'm at the park, 这是一样的那个菜. Okay, so 这是里面的还是菜的? Okay, in 这是里面的 at 这是菜的. Okay. Okay, well, I guess we lost Zaman. You know, if you can't be patient, you can't get help. It's that simple. If you can't be patient, you can't get help. All right, so I'm going to talk to Victor. Victor was the next one who asked to talk to me.
Hi.
Victor, howjo bujenla?
Yeah,
Yeah, how are you?
it's been a long time.
Yeah,
Very good.
very long time. How are you, man?
Yeah, very good.
Good. I'm glad. I'm
It's nice
glad.
to see you again.
Yeah, you too. Where are you these days? What city are you in now, and what team are you working for now?
Well, I'm in Shenzhen, and I already finished my job in the national team
Okay.
in 2023 in August.
Okay.
There was something going wrong in the team, and it's fighting
Oh no.
conflict.
Oh no.
So I left the team, and also the foreign coaches went back home, and they started to coach other national teams. So
Interesting.
I was asked by somebody who owned a golf academy in Shenzhen, and I started working in Shenzhen as a golf translator.
Oh, well, that's interesting. So now you're into golf. Okay. Well, you know,
So
I bet you that might be a better move for you, because golf is not a team sport. So that means
No.
that means that you have the potential for more clients.
Yeah, that's more of a not a competitive sport. It's more of
Right.
commercialization.
Right,
kind of
but
sport.
and golf is like that's the sport of rich people. So that means there are people who have money and they want to pay for translation. You know, so that's a good sport. Yeah.
No, you know the golf club I work for. They basically all the clients are the richest people in Shenzhen.
Right.
And Shenzhen, and Shenzhen is the richest city in
Yeah.
China.
Right. Yeah. Right. So that's a good job to have, man. That's like, and you know, you need to remember, you just left the basketball thing and now you're doing the golf thing. And that should tell you that, you know, guanxi is so important, right? So, you know, now that's the same thing that happens with musicians sometimes, right? When we're a musician and we work in the rock club, we don't get a chance to meet anybody that's really important. But when you start playing jazz music, you start playing for all the rich people. And now you're talking to all the rich people and you can make connections and say, oh, hey, yeah, I can play your party next year. And, you know, hey, yeah, I can do that event, you know, so you make a lot of connections. So I think that's a good move. That's a good move for you.
Yeah, sometimes that's when a good opportunity appears.
That's right. Yes. You know, it could just be somebody who says, you know, like, oh, I remember that guy. He was a good guy. I'm going to give him some money for his business, you know, like, you know, you never know. Yeah. So that's, like I said, when you work for a team sport, there are only a limited number of teams. So that means the possibility for job opportunity is very low. But when you
Yes,
work for a non-team sport, you could move to any city in China or anywhere in the world and do this job, you know? Yeah.
I used to work for competitive sports, and especially in the national team. And basically, all year round, you just stay in a limited space, in a sports base.
Right.
You don't go outside to meet other people.
Right.
So there's not much chances there.
Yeah. And you know what you should do, if you haven't done this already, you should make yourself your own business card. And when you meet somebody and you have do a job with them, make sure you always give them your business card, because maybe later they're going to want to hire you for something else. Maybe not even for golf. Maybe they'll have a business event or a corporate event and they'll want a translator for the corporate event. So they'll say, hey, I remember this golf guy was really good. Let's get him in here. You know?
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Good. Yeah,
because
good.
I'm starting from last year, I started to teach English on the side.
Good for you. Good for you.
And some of the students for my English lessons, they were clients in the golf club.
Wow. Well, if you have any extras that you can't help. I like to teach rich people.
Everybody likes it.
You know, those are the jobs that we used to call the golden eagle jobs. You know, when I was in Taiwan, sometimes some rich person would want lessons from you, but the lessons were not really lessons. They would just want to spend time with you. So like every Saturday, they would take you out to lunch every Saturday, and they just want to spend time with you. They pay for your lunch. They pay you money for teaching, and all you do is go out and talk and eat with them, and they pay for everything. It's great. It's like, wow, I'll do this anytime you want. Sure. You want to go to what restaurant next week? Sure, I'll be there. You know, like, those are the greatest jobs ever, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. You don't believe how those rich people think.
I know. Yeah. I have one drum student who's really rich.
Yeah.
And he's a really nice guy, but it is strange sometimes to try to talk to him or try to understand him, because the way he thinks is just so different from the way I think. You know, he'll decide, I want to go to Europe tomorrow. And just like buy a ticket to Europe and go to Europe tomorrow, and just, you know, like nobody does that. I don't know anybody who has that kind of money to be able to just say, oh, it costs how much money? Oh, I don't care. Go ahead. Sure. Tomorrow. That's fine. You know? Yeah.
Because the living environment is totally different from ours.
Right. Yeah.
You know, several days ago, we have students for golf lesson, and of course he's very rich, but I didn't know how rich he is, and he took lessons from our company, but also his dad also played golf, and during the lesson he said his dad had a goal of playing golf in 1,000 golf courses around the world. You can imagine 1,000.
Right. Yeah. Right. 1, yeah. I mean, and how much time do you have? You know, like apparently you have all the time in the world to be able to do something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. My brother's a golfer. I've never really been into golf. You know, when I was younger, I used to like to go to the driving range. I like the driving range. That's fun. You know, hitting the ball as hard as you can, that I like. But I'm not a big golf fan. You know, like the sport itself bores me. You know, if I want to take a nap on a Sunday, I put golf on TV and I'll fall asleep in 10 minutes because it's so boring. It's like, oh my God.
I have the same feeling. I think golf is not as interesting as other competitive sports.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of basketball, but I would much rather watch basketball than watch golf, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, watching golf is like watching the grass grow.
It's too long, man.
Yeah. Anyway.
When you watch when you watch the golf game in the TV, you don't know where the golf went.
Right. Yeah, where the ball went. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Well, that's interesting, though. I'm really happy for you. That sounds like, I think that's a good career move. I think that's a very good career move, But I just think you need to think about this, now that you've made this move. Again, consider the fact that you have a lot more options now, and you should be considering that now that you're not working in a team sport, that means that you have a lot more potential for freelance work.
Yeah, that's what I'm working towards that goal.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
And by the way, Mark, you sent a message last year in the April, but I didn't log in the.
Oh, that's
the
okay.
Talk after.
Yeah, that's all right. I
for
figured.
a long time.
Yeah, it happens.
And how did it go? Did you get a job?
I didn't. No, that job that I was applying for, they didn't even contact me. It was really amazing.
No.
Yeah, I contacted them 3 or 4 times, and they didn't even get back to me. And that's okay. That's the way things happen sometimes,
Yeah. Shit happens.
Well, it's not, I don't want to use that term. It's more that just like, not everybody can recognize your talent in this world. Right. And there are times when some people will see you and say, wow, you have a lot of talent. And there will be other people who will see the same person say, I don't see the talent.
Yeah.
And so,
I get that.
they probably just didn't see the talent that I have. And that's okay. They don't have to, so.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about being independent is if I can't go in this direction, that's okay. I'll go in this one. I can just keep going in different directions each time. It's okay.
All roads lead to Rome.
There you go. All roads lead to Rome. That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah. Very, very well said. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Where was the job? Was it in America or
it was in America? Yeah. And that was another thing was I was hoping that I could do the job remotely from here. Like I wanted to not move, but the job was in Milwaukee, which is kind of far away from me and not a city I really wanted to move to. So I was really hoping that they would be interested in just hiring me, like freelance as a remote worker, but look, again, something that I like to do sometimes is I like to find articles about famous people who they failed a lot before they became famous. Like how many times that they tried to do something and they failed many, 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 many times. And then, so them now because they're famous, but you don't know about the struggle that they had, to get there. So I like to remind myself of those things that every failure you have. What do they say? They say the master has failed more times than the beginner has ever tried. And that's true. You have to. So every time I have a failure, I feel like I'm just getting more experience.
Yeah, that's how you know what you can do differently the next time.
That's right. Yeah. It's like a scientist, right? When a scientist has an idea, he has to prove it with experiments, right? And when he does those experiments, some of those experiments are going to be successful and say, yes, that's true. What I think is true. And some of those experiments are going to fail. But which kind of experiment does he learn more from? Does he learn more from the successes or from the failures? He actually learns a lot more from the failures because when it doesn't work, that's when you can look at it and try to figure out why didn't it work. If it does work, then there's nothing to learn. It did what you thought it was going to do, right? So when you fail, when things don't work out the right way, that's just an opportunity to figure out why.
Yeah. Just like what you said reminds me of a speech by Barack Obama many years ago, when he went to a high school in I don't know where, I don't remember. And in his speech he said, J.K. Rowling rejected
Right. Yeah.
the woman who
Yeah,
writes
yeah,
Harry
yeah.
Potter.
Yeah, she
Her book was
it was rejected
rejected
many
time.
times. Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Before
just
she was
time.
accepted. Right. And think about that. Think about the guy who rejected her now. Like, think about the guy who said, "No, I don't think this is very good." Think about all those 12 people who rejected her. Think about how stupid they feel now. Of how millions of dollars that were made off of Harry Potter, and they could have had a little bit of it, but no, yeah. That's one of the ones I think about is J.K. Rowling. Yeah, her story is famous that way.
And by the way, I'm very curious to know how many followers do you have now? Because last time I remember you have 38,000.
Yeah,
followers.
I'm nearing 75,000.
Wow, it's double.
Yeah, about double from last time. Yeah. So I need to get maybe 3 months ago when I was really consistently streaming, I had about 1,000 new followers every week, but I've been I've been busy, so I haven't been streaming that much, and my numbers have gone down, but I need to get back up, so I'm going to start streaming more, and hopefully I'll be back up to 1,000 a week again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What have you been doing outside of live streaming?
Well, no, I did go on my first vacation in many years. I haven't been on a vacation in a long time, but I took a vacation and I went to Europe to meet a couple of my Hello Talk friends. So I went to Germany and I met my friend Gunter and stayed with his family in Germany, in Berlin. And I went to Poland to meet another one of my friends from Ukraine. And I went to Dresden, where I met another guy from Hello Talk. And a guy from Hamburg came down to Berlin to meet me from Hello Talk. So I met a bunch of people in Germany. And then I went from Germany to Madrid. And I stayed in Madrid with my good friend Belen. And her family for 2 weeks in Madrid. And Gunter came too. Gunter from Germany, he speaks Spanish, so he came. And we all spent time together in Madrid, which was great. And then, because I missed it so much, I went back to Taiwan for 3 weeks too and spent some time with my friends in Taiwan. And then I came back home. And when I got back home, as soon as I got back home, I got really sick. So I was sick for about a week and a half or 2 weeks. And then Thanksgiving happened, and then Christmas happened, and then New Year's happened. It's been it feels like it's been a really busy few months.
Few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember Gunther and Baron.
Yeah, that's right. So I finally got to go meet them, and it was awesome. It was really awesome.
They were ones of your earliest followers.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So I finally got a chance to meet them, and it was better than I could have imagined. I consider them both like family now. So yeah.
And during your last talk with last one who you invited on stage,
who was that? Muhammad? Oh no. Heidi.
I remember. I was taking a shower. But I still listen to your live streaming. You say you own your restaurant?
I didn't own one. No. I many years ago when I was a kid, I used to work in some restaurants. That's all.
Oh.
Yeah. And I've done a couple of like guest chef kind of things where like a restaurant. When I was in Taiwan, there was a restaurant in Taipei that I did like a guest chef night where I came in to cook. There was one in Taichung where I did the same thing. I come in to cook in the restaurant. I do like a special menu for that night, But the truth is, I love cooking, but I don't really love cooking in a restaurant. It's not the same. It's in a restaurant, it's like high pressure. And you don't enjoy it. It feels like it's like a high pressure situation.
Yeah, it's not as cozy as
right.
cooking.
Yeah, that's right. When you cook at home, there's a relaxing, meditative kind of thing to it. Like when you're cooking for your friends, if you cook for a family or friends, that's different. But yeah, when you have to cook for 25, 30, 40, 50 people,
That's not fun.
No, it's not fun at all. It's a lot of work. It's a really hard job. Yeah.
And also, a lot of times maybe the dishes you cook, you maybe not enjoying them. You don't enjoy them.
That's right. Yeah, because it's just eventually it gets to be like work. Right. Yeah, you just got to get it done. Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So.
Mark, do you still teach private lessons now?
English? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One-on-one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can't remember if you saw my website or not. Did you ever see my website?
What website?
Yeah, go to my website. Here's my website, everybody. If you want private lessons, you can go here. AFIECEnglish.com. Okay, I just put it there in the chat. AFIECEnglish.com. That's my website. If you want private lessons, you can get lessons with me. It's not free. It's not free. It's my job. But yes, you can get lessons from me.
Maybe I would recommend some of my students to go.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I would really appreciate that, Victor. Yeah, I do need some more students. I had a lot of students before my vacation, and then after my vacation and Christmas and holidays, I lost about half my students. So I need to get a bunch of students again.
Why?
So,
Why
a lot of things just changed. Some people moved, some people graduated, some people, it was just a lot of people who things just changed. So, yeah, it happens. Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, it happens.
1 month ago, I was very busy. I was having a life bet, and after the exam, a lot of my students graduated, and now I'm not as busy.
Yeah.
As before.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm available on your live stream.
Right, there you go. Okay. All right. Well, Victor, it was great to see you again, my friend. It was great to see you again.
Very good.
Yeah. Keep in touch and try not to make it so long before we see each other again.
No problem.
All right. Take care, Victor. I'll see you next time, okay?
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. And I saw a message. I need to message Robbie because I think I saw a message and I didn't get a chance to say hello to him. Robbie, I don't think you're still in the room, but I'm going to send you a message here. Hey, Robbie. Okay, there we go. Okay, any other questions? Put your questions in the chat. If you have questions about English, put the questions in the chat. And I do see all your comments over here in in YouTube also. Amir, I still see you're there. And I see you're there. And Azeda, I see you're there. Over in in YouTube. I can't speak today. Okay, any other questions about English? Write your question if you have a question, or if you want to come talk to me, you can raise your hand. So, let's see. Orenbeck has been waiting a long time. Let's talk to Orenbeck for a few minutes. And I see Walk is waiting and Lee Chiu Tao is waiting. Hello, Orenbeck, my friend.
Hey there.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Good.
How have you been there? Everything's okay?
Yeah, can't complain. Can't complain.
Right.
What can I do for you today?
I have a question and I wanted to ask it, and then I can off from the stage.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. Now, I'm learning English and I start translating any texts from Russian or my language into English, and I use ChatGPT, and they say that ChatGPT has its own style. And can someone distinguish ChatGPT's text from usual persons?
There are programs now that are designed to find exactly that. There are programs that are designed to check your writing to see if you used AI to make your writing. From a human standpoint, can you, if you use it enough and you're familiar with it enough, then maybe, yeah. If you use it enough, you'll start to recognize that there are certain things that it repeats a lot. You know, any AI, I've used a few of them, and all of them, if you keep asking a similar question or you ask a similar topic, they all have a similar answer. And the wording, the way they do it, it's, again, similar. So it's just like being a teacher. You know, when you're a teacher, sometimes people cheat on their homework, right? They have their big brother write it for them. And you have to be like, this isn't your writing. You don't sound like that. You know, like that's not you, right? So same thing with ChatGPT. Now, I don't think it's a terrible thing to use ChatGPT to help your writing. But I think you have to have some integrity. I think you need to have some integrity. If you're going to use ChatGPT, you need to use it like a writing partner, not like a ghostwriter. There's a big difference. A writing partner is somebody that you can talk with about the writing and say, well, it's my book, but what do you think about this sentence? If I write it like this, do you think that's good, or should I rewrite it and put it in a different way? So if you're just using ChatGPT as like a, what's the right word?
Tool, instrument.
Wait a minute, I'll come up with the right word.
Assistant.
Kind of like assistant. There's another word I'm looking for, but it's not coming to my mind. But yeah, basically, if you're using it kind of like an assistant or a helper to just help you figure out the words, then I don't think that's a problem. But you have to be the one to make the final decision, and you should have enough integrity to feel like you should not feel comfortable using large chunks of AI writing. Right? So small chunks of AI writing that you rewrite yourself, okay. But if you're using big chunks of AI writing, then that's cheating. Right? So if you use AI to discuss something and then you write your version, you write your idea, that's okay. But if you ask ChatGPT an answer, a question, and you just write out whatever it says, now you're cheating. That's why I said you have to use integrity if you're going to use ChatGPT to help you with your writing. Okay?
All right. So you can distinguish ChatGPT's text, right?
I think that I could in some circumstances. I think sometimes maybe I could guess that it's used with ChatGPT. But it depends on how familiar I am with the person who's writing, right? So like I said, if one of my students comes in and that student, his writing is always kind of so-so, but one day he comes in and his writing all of a sudden is brilliant, I'm going to ask him to sit down and talk with me. I'm not going to accuse him of cheating, but I am going to ask him to discuss the topic with me. If he can talk about the topic with me freely, then maybe he really did write it. But if he can't discuss it, then that means he got all the answers from the ChatGPT and he was just cheating. You know?
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for
so yeah, you can use it. Oh, that was the word, consultation. You can use it as a consultant. Right? You can consult with ChatGPT. Ask it, well, what if I do this? What do you think? And then it will tell you, and then you can say, okay, thank you for your input. But now I need to write it myself, right? So you still discuss it with your friend, but you don't write what they say, you write what you think. Right? That's the secret, is you have to have integrity.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. For your advice.
All right. Well, that was an easy one. You're welcome. Take care, my friend. Good to see you again. I'll see you next time. Okay, let's go to the next person. Raise your hand. There were some other people who were waiting. Who else wanted to come up? Li Chiao Tao, Xin Chao, do you want to come talk to me again? Raise your hand if you want to come talk to me again. Okay. Hello, Jack. Good to see you. Your British accent is really horrible. What can you do about it? Sharman, I can't really help you too much with that because I'm not British. I'm an American, right? If you want a British accent and that's what you're working on, then you need to create a way to improve it. So you say your accent is really horrible, and I say, what are you doing to work on it? Right? Lots of students complain about things, but they don't actually try to think about how to fix it. Right? So you say your accent is horrible, and I ask you, so what have you done? What have you done to practice? What have you done to improve? What kind of plan do you have? What system do you have? How often do you practice regularly? Okay? Okay, we've got one more person I think I have time for, and then I gotta go. Let's see, it's Venom. Venom, are you there?
Hello, Mr. Mark.
Hello, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm not bad, And you're in Egypt. Are you in Cairo, or where are you?
I'm kind of in Cairo. I'm so near to it. It's
Okay.
kind of between Cairo, about an hour and a half.
Can you tell me the name? What's the name?
My name is the name of the city?
Yeah.
Banha.
Banta, okay. All right, cool. And what can I do for you today?
Maybe, I don't know. I just want to remove my American accent, okay? Because I want to work as a call center or a customer service.
Okay.
I have a problem, in the TH sound because of this.
Your braces. Right. Okay.
And also this.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, I understand, and that's tough. Well, let me give you some, I'll give you some good news. Let me give you some good news
Okay,
first.
just another question, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
What do you think that I have to do? What is the thing that I have to do, or what? I don't know how to say it, but what is the things I have to do to be like American, like Americans when I speak in American accent? You got me?
Okay, so again, here's the first thing I'll tell you is your accent is already great.
Thanks
Yeah.
a lot.
Really, honestly.
You made my day.
Yeah, to be honest, your Arabic accent is really small. Really small. Yeah.
Thanks.
So I can hear it, but it is... I talk to people from all over the world all the time on this app. For many years, I've been talking to people from around the world. So I'm very familiar with, the level of accent people have.
Yeah.
Right? And
yeah,
so I'll tell you that, of people who live in Egypt, your accent is really small. So don't worry too much about it. And then you said the TH thing is a problem, and mostly it's because of the braces and the mouth equipment you have.
Yeah.
Well, that's temporary. Right?
Yeah, maybe 2 months.
Right. So once you get those off, now here's the thing, though. I remember when I had braces. The thing about braces, when you have braces, it moves your teeth. And because you're moving your teeth, it's like moving your mouth. It's changing the position. Yeah, it changes the position of your mouth, right? That affects your accent. Right? Changing the position of your mouth affects your accent. So, I'm going to tell you that I don't think you should work on it or worry about it too much until you get your braces off.
Okay.
Once you get them off, now you have a fresh mouth that you have to retrain, and you have to learn how to make those sounds. And yes, the TH sound can be difficult, but until you get that equipment off, I would say just wait. Just wait, because you need to learn how to get your tongue to be in the right position, and it's going to be hard right now, right? So the TH sound is when you have the tongue has to be between the teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just a little bit though. Not like this. It's just the tip,
Yeah,
just
okay.
the
You
very,
see,
very,
that
very
sounds
tip.
hard.
Right. It's hard. I know. So just the very, very tip has to be between the teeth, and then you have to blow air across your tongue.
Yeah, I know, because we have a letter in Arabic that looks like the
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, right.
Its name is Zal.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
it?
it's similar. Right. That's right. It's almost the same position. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think you shouldn't worry too much because Venom, if you came to America tomorrow, you'd be fine.
Why?
Okay. And honestly, if you came to America tomorrow, I think a lot of people would struggle to guess where you're from. I think that a lot of people would say you're from the Middle East, but they wouldn't know where, and they would say like, oh, but you've probably been living here a long time because, I know Arabic speaking people in the United States who have been living here for many years who don't have as well of an accent as you have. As good of an accent as you have.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Mark. You made my day.
Yeah, so you'll be fine.
That's a fact.
You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Okay.
And remember, here's the last thing I'm going to tell you about accent. I always teach this lesson. If I have two cars that I can give you, I can give you one of them, right? They're the same car. They're both a Mercedes-Benz, really nice car, right? But one car has a perfect engine, and it has perfect wheels, brand new tires, and it has a perfect interior. The inside of the car is beautiful, but the paint on the car is not very nice. It's not very nice paint. Or you can have the other car. The engine in the other car does not work well. The tires are not good. And the interior of the car is ugly and not good. But the paint is the most beautiful paint you've ever seen in your life on that car. Which car do you want?
I'll choose the car number one.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Your accent is just the paint on the car.
Okay.
It's not that important, really. It's not really that important. Yeah, that's right. You have to worry about your engine and your tires and your interior. That's the most important. The accent is just the paint on the car, and nobody really cares.
I just want to work as a call center or a customer service, and they really ask for the accent in it, and have to.
I understand, but I have helped a few people to get call center jobs on Hello Talk. Okay, so there have been a few people who have been watching me and following me and listening to me, and they have used my techniques to get the job at the call center. And all of them have stronger accents than you do.
Okay.
So I don't think your accent should be a problem at all for a call center job for you. I don't think that's going to be the problem.
The accent.
Yeah.
If my accent's not good, I'm not accepted.
Yeah, I understand, but what I'm trying to tell you is that I can't understand anybody who would say your accent is not good. I don't understand anybody who would say that. That's just wrong. Your accent is great.
Yeah.
So don't worry. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. And believe me, Americans, we use call centers a lot, right? If I call for just about anything for help, it's probably somebody in India who's going to answer, right. And I'll tell you that, we talk to people with accents a lot. Sometimes my father, his hearing is not so good. He's old and his hearing is not so good. And he doesn't have as much experience as I do talking with people that have accents, right? So sometimes when he calls for help with his computer, the person that he's talking to, he can't understand them because they do have an accent. And so I'll have to talk to them, because I can understand them, But what I'm trying to tell you is that, again, I use call centers a lot. And if I talk to somebody like you, I would be happy. I'd be like, oh, God, thank God, this guy doesn't have a thick accent. So don't worry. Yeah. Yeah, and Jack is one of my followers here, and he's from Syria, but he's living in Turkey, and his English is quite good, too. And look, what does he say there? He said, I've seen many people speaking English, although I'm not American, but I can affirm that your accent is really fantastic. See? He also agrees. Yeah. So,
Okay.
and if your biggest problem is the TH sound, that's not that big of a deal. Okay, so don't worry too much. Okay, but wait until you get your braces off and then start working on it. It's going to be uncomfortable for a while. It's going to be uncomfortable. That's the nature of learning. When you learn new things, it's uncomfortable, right?
That's right.
There's a famous poet from Persia. His name is Rumi. In Persia, they call him Molana. And there's one quote from him that I love. He says, all of your anxiety comes from seeking harmony. Seek disharmony and you will find peace. And what that means is you can't become comfortable without learning how to become uncomfortable. Right? So what that means is lots of people, they go through life and they try to stay comfortable all the time. But you can't. You can't. Life is going to make you uncomfortable. So how can you make yourself comfortable? You have to push through. It's like walking through a tunnel. When you walk through a tunnel, when you first get into the tunnel, it's dark and scary, and you're like, "Oh no, what's happening?" But the more you walk, you see that little pin of light way down at the end that gets bigger. So the more you walk, the bigger the light gets, and the more you become confident, right? So if you want to be confident, you have to walk through the tunnel to get to the other side. And once you do that, once you walk through a tunnel one time and you say, "Oh, I've been through a tunnel," the next time you see a tunnel, are you scared? No. You say, "Oh, it's a tunnel. I just have to walk through it like I did before."
The light at the end of the tunnel.
That's right. Yeah. So that's how it is. Everything in the beginning is uncomfortable and scary. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. Okay?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Okay, so my friend, it was good to talk to you. Thank you for coming on my stage. I'm going to let you go, but come back and see me again. Come back and see me again, okay?
I want to tell you something. You are a great man, and you made my day, and you are doing such a good work for helping people to learn English for free.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, take care of yourself, my friend. I'll see you next time, okay?
Okay, see you next time.
Okay, bye-bye. Shukran.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let me see. Anas says, I memorize vocabulary words, but there's a problem in terms of discussion. When I want to talk, I find that all the words have disappeared. You got to talk more. You got to talk more. I think OpenAI is better to use than ChatGPT because ChatGPT charges you $0.9 per hour. Okay, sure. You know, whatever. Whichever one works better for you and is cheaper, that's fine. Yeah. Whichever one you want. I teach English. You sound Slavic when you speak English. You're Greek. Well, there's an almost slight relationship between Eastern European languages and Greek. I think what I mean is this. The languages between those countries are not the same. However, the accents are. Right? So, if I met a Greek person without seeing them and I only heard their voice, it might be hard for me to choose like what area they're from. I might guess Eastern Europe, right, which is where the Slavic languages are, because there is almost a similarity between the sound of Greek, I should say the sound of English with a Greek accent and the sound of English with a, let's say, Slovak or Czech or, Eastern European accent. Almost. But without hearing you, Andriani, I can't really say without hearing you. If I heard you, maybe I could tell. Other people say that Greeks sound like Spaniards. I could see that too. I could see that too. I think it depends. I think that Greek is boisterous the way Spanish, especially the Spanish in Spain. I think there's a boisterousness to Greek language that's similar to the boisterousness of Spanish language. So in that sense, maybe the intonation of Greek might be more similar to the intonation of Spanish. Please say something about phonetics. You don't need phonetics, you need phonics. There's a big difference between phonics and phonetics. Phonetics is good if you're studying linguistics. Phonics is good if you're studying language. Okay? And yes, I do have a YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel and you can follow me and check out my YouTube videos and learn a lot. Okay? What does don't be late mean? It means don't be late. It means I don't want you to be late. You need to come here on time. If I say 2:00, be here. Don't be late. Don't come at 2:05. Don't come at 2:10. Don't be late. 2:00. Okay? All right. Okay, guys, guess what? I'm a bit tuckered out, which is an old slang term that means a little tired. And I've been here for 2.5 hours. So it's time for me to take a break. I might come back a bit later, though. I was thinking about doing a second stream later today, or maybe a voice room. We'll see. So pay attention, because I might be back later. Okay? If you want more practice, I might have a voice room, or I might have another live stream later. Okay? If you don't know who I am, my name is Teacher Mark. You should follow me. I have about 75,000 followers, or almost 75,000 followers on Hello Talk. You can follow me on YouTube right there. You can also go to my website if you want to get lessons from me. Go to my website, send me a message. Send me a private message if you want lessons also. I can talk to you about it. All right? So that's going to be it for me today. Jack, I'll talk to you for just a second, Jack, if you want to come talk to me very quickly. Jack, are you available? Jack, maybe you're busy. All right, well, that's okay. Maybe next time, Jack. Maybe next time. To the people over in my YouTube channel, thank you for watching, Amir. Thank you, Azeda. Thank you, Ive. Thank you, Shah Zaman. I appreciate you watching and following. And Maria and Flavia and Igor. Thank you very much. And I will see you guys later. Okay? Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.